one thing and went into another career or industry. And so a lot of students, I think that it's a straight path, and our volunteers are there to mentor, share stories. We encourage our volunteers to tell our students about failures so that they can learn from that, whether it was, not paying a credit card on time, or, not realizing how expensive groceries are, things like that.
Alrighty, so you have an event that is coming up shortly. What do you have happening, ma'am?
We have our 4th annual Tee Up for JA at Top Golf, and this event is a lot of fun. We take over the entire 2nd floor. So we have 24 bays, and it's just 3 hours of fun. We do an hour of networking at the beginning. So from 5 to 6 is kind of networking and getting in there, maybe having a cocktail, and that's, we call our power hour. And then from 6 to 8, it's golf, or I guess not even golf. It's hitting balls.
It's golf-ish. It's like
golf-ish.
It's right. Like I got a business-ish. Because it's more than...
It is.
It's hitting balls. It's interacting. So talk about the partnership, like with a Top Golf or something. How do you guys end up there?
Well, I mean, part of it is convenience. They're a great organization. I mean, great company, obviously, but they're centrally located,
yes,
right off the highway. Because it's a Thursday afternoon, some folks are coming from work downtown, easy to get to. So that's really how that works. And you're right. It's not just, it is hitting balls, but it is a lot of fun networking. And we also have tons of raffle prizes. We do a 50-50. We do a big beer and wine raffle with about 25 different libations for one ticket, and things like that. So,
so Jennifer Boyle here, Junior Achievement, all the great things happening there. That's one event that you have. Mm-hmm. So the last time I saw you were here, we were talking about your laureates.
Yeah.
And that was, I'd never been to that event. Mm-hmm. That's something.
That's the, J.A. Greater Richmond Business Hall of Fame.
That's the so you're taking the best of it, and people are telling their stories. Mm-hmm. And, like you said, sometimes a young person may think it goes like that.
Right.
And the laureates are saying, it may not look like that.
No, it may not. They're really serving as role models, telling their stories, and it's also just recognition of the kind of the folks in Richmond who've really kind of made it Richmond, right?
Alrighty, ma'am. I always ask the nonprofit world, what was the draw for you?
Well, I kind of fell into it and and stayed in it. So the draw has been. I'll be honest with you, the nonprofit community in Richmond is fantastic.
Yes.
And so a lot of it, it's a small world kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I've worked with some of the same people for many, many, many years. I love working with a board. I love having that advocacy element on the, within the organization. And of course, our team is fantastic. But, it's just... it makes you feel like you're giving back, right? I was born and raised here in Richmond, and so to be able to contribute in some way has been, makes me feel good.
Alrighty, ma'am, when you talk about, you're at JA, you left and came back again, mm-hmm. Sometimes people say you can't go home again.
Yeah.
And so a good friend of mine, Reba, over at CBS 60, mm-hmm. says you can go back home again.
Sure.
And so you left, went somewhere else, uh-huh. came back.
Right.
What was it like coming back, the first day of coming back? So now you got a new job, mm-hmm. but you know everybody and everything. You don't have to say, excuse me, where's the bathroom located? You don't have to do those things. Right. What was the first couple of days, and how long were you gone?
I was gone for about 1.5 years with another organization, and came back, and, it's kind of like sitting in your favorite chair.
Did you realize that, did it seem like you never left after you'd been back for a while?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there were a couple changes here and there, but there were still many, many board members that were there when I had left. Our staff was still there, same office. I knew where to go. There's just a level of comfort.
So talk to people about the idea of relationships and keeping relationships mm-hmm. going so that you can go back home again, where somebody will think about you that way.
Yeah, I think that it's a great question. We have, because we work with the business community, almost 1,000 volunteers every year from hundreds of companies and organizations, because we work with every school district in the area. We have a lot of partnerships, which is another reason why I love working for JA, is because we're able to
you interact with everybody.
It's a lot of different constituents,
yes.
And a lot of people, and then of course the students. Those are the ones that just make you realize this is why I'm doing this. But yeah, important to build relationships. We have great partnerships across town. We actually are partnering with Chamber RVA on Mission Tomorrow. We've done that.
You know what? When is that?
That is October 22nd through the 24th.
So for a person who's never been there, there's controlled madness, and then there's that.
Yes.
It's chaos at another level.
Yeah.
And it's organized just like a military operation.
Yeah, I'll say, the Community Foundation for Greater Richmond and Chamber RVA and Junior Achievement really partner on that. Over 100 volunteers, over 3 days, 11,000 eighth graders, which is where that controlled chaos comes from.
Yes.
A little bit. But wow, it's just an amazing, it's got such an impact. And I'll just explain what it is really quick.
Yes.
It's kind of a career exploration fair. It's more than just a job fair. It's not a job fair. Eighth graders can't get jobs with these companies, but what they can do is explore the careers that are at those companies, in those industries. And so these students are able to, get up close and personal with a cherry picker and with an airplane.
Yes, I've seen. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and so what's really fun about it is that every single exhibit is interactive. It's, I always say it's not just tables and tablecloths and a pile of pens to take from. Our team at Junior Achievement works with the volunteer companies that are exhibiting to make sure that they have interactive exhibits so that the students can be engaged, so that they can really have a great time while they're there and learn about new jobs out there. Chamber RVA does a fantastic job really dealing with all of the kind of logistics and all of the volunteering. But yeah, that's a great partnership.
It's funny when you see Brian Anderson with sneakers on.
Yeah.
Because he needs sneakers with this. Before you even pull up, you see the organization of it. How the buses, how the people are lined up to get you in there to see. And also, so for ladies and gentlemen, people may not believe, but I do have a few miles on me. And there were things that I saw and knew as a kid that I hadn't thought of for a while. The Civil Air Patrol. Mm-hmm. Hadn't thought of that for years. I'm at Mission Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And there they are.
Yeah.
And the kids are excited.
Yeah. It's great to see. I mean, you see students really getting excited. They get to practice CPR. And so there are, like I said, 100 different companies or organizations represented. We try to touch on all 16/17, career. Can't think of the word right now.
Career path.
Yes, thank you. That sounds good. But yeah, and so they're able to get in there. It's at Richmond Raceway, so it's huge, right? Many, many buildings that are used. And yeah, just to be able to see what everybody does is exciting. Meta is there with, robot dogs. And
I saw the robot dog.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was really cool. And the drones that they have there, it is, like you said, eighth graders can't get a job.
Yeah.
But they'll walk in there, and there could be something that does it for them that they had no idea was possible.
Right. And what's great, too, is that that visit, that, field trip, is bookended with programming in the classroom. And so the students come in with reference and an understanding of what's expected and questions to ask and things like that. And then they get to go back to the classroom and reflect on their visit, reflect on what they've learned. And it's not just kind of these big, splashy, flashy companies either, I want to say, too. We have financial institutions represented. We have a lot of places from J. Sarge and things like that. So they're, or from the community colleges altogether, Brightpoint. And they're in there, and again, they're still interactive exhibits. They're still doing something.
I saw the one that was there with girls in construction. Mm-hmm. I looked at that and said, wow. Yeah. It's like, okay, so I think good friends over at Gilbane were the ones who were out there doing that. This program, see, I didn't even remember. I didn't know you were coming here to talk about that.
I wasn't.
Okay.
Well, it was one of the.
Well,
I mean,
it's one of the things. Okay, well, I'm
got
here,
a lot going on.
talking about Top Golf.
Yeah.
And then it brings me back to last year about going to Mission tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that was something. So
Yeah.
that is an amazing event. All right, ma'am, what else you got? Anything else you need to let us know about?
I'll just say, too, that we're really embarking on a big push for our JA career speakers. So if we've got folks in the audience who are interested in spending 45 minutes to an hour in the classroom, letting students know about what you do for a living and maybe how you got to where you are. We are coordinating that with thousands of high school and middle school students across the region. And so even if you do something that you don't think is interesting, your story is going to be interesting, right? You're going to bring that, that element that students don't know anything about in the classroom. You're bringing that experience. A lot of times students are interacting with parents and teachers, but not with necessarily many other adults, and learning about those jobs. So.
And some of the stories that you get, what the adults get from it, we heard Jack Berry talk about his time coming in and talking to the students what junior achiever meant to him. So it's always a pleasure. Jennifer's here. One last time, ma'am, how can people get hold of you?
Well, we have Top Golf coming up.
Oh,
so
yes.
Tee Up for JA is September 26th. We have only a few bays left, so only a few tickets left, about, I think, maybe 18, 20 tickets left. So get in there quickly. You can get that on our website. That's at centralva.ja.org.